Controlling focus breath. Okay, time to figure out where that mutagen I missed is. No problem. Currently, I'm trying to figure out where the mutagen on this map I missed is. Fun fact. I could identify by looking at this egg that it's an egg of one of my favorite creatures in this game, or voidlings in this game. The Gorgoon, or however you're meant to pronounce its name. Okay, does depend on so technically when it comes to the mutagen I'm looking for, it's like in a specific like so mutagen can be dropped by enemies, but what I'm looking for is like a map spawned mutagen which looks different. When I interact with it, it'll look the same as mutagen in its pick-upable state, but like when it's in its map spawn state, it's a floating glowy thing of the color of its element. So for example, a pyro mutagen would be orange, plasma mutagen would be purple, cryo mutagen would be blue, Cyber Mutagen Yellow and what was the fifth one? Well, technically Plasma's the fifth one, so it'll technically which one's the fourth one. But it's one of a similar naming scheme. Just organic is green. How did I forget organic? It's like literally the first mutagen. And of course. Oh, found it! Technically I was looking for an elemental rift because they dropped the mutagens. But for the star rewards of a mission, the mutagens are just the elemental rifts are referred to as mutagens. Thank you. Now then, you get to see one of the game's bosses. technically every boss with the exception of one has 4 phases. You could identify it's going for a phase change because it gains 3 armor buffs, which reduce the damage you deal to it to almost nothing. The thing is, how powerful that 3 armor buff is seems to be based on how late on in the game the boss is. Which means, after a certain point in the game, you could start to kill bosses before they have a chance to get through all their phases. And if you're to do this, well, usually when a boss dies, it kills all active enemies. But if you're to kill a boss when it's technically in the middle of a phase change, enemies tend to spawn during a phase change. And since the boss died in the middle of a phase change, those enemies will spawn after the boss has died, meaning it's possible to deal with enemies after you've killed the boss because you killed the boss too fast. Okay, so I know this egg is a Goon egg, but I think this egg's a Queepeg egg. I'll find out now. Okay, yes. I know my voidlings well, it seems. Or voidling eggs well. Strange thing is that there's some YouTubers who've been playing this game for much longer than me, who, don't know the eggs nearly as well as I do. Which one? Do you mean the Dragoon? I don't remember what the new walk looks like. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, Dragoon would be the closest. None of these guys have Cyber Evolution, I think. You know, this guy gets Organic and Frost in spite of being a Grenadier. Why doesn't he get oh, technically he does get Fire, but that's in the form of a Golden Egg one. These guys get Plasma and Organic. The interesting note that they actually... huh. I mean, some Dragoon variants would use Guerrilla Warfare. Other Dragoon variants just use Necromancy. Gilix got Frost and Cryo and Pyro. Quebex get Pyro and Organic, so I currently have nothing which uses Cyber. Actually, now I think about it, like, only 2 Voidlings use Cyber, and they're like more than 3 which use Organic. Hmm. Wait, would you like to see something very fun? Here we have a Draconic Gillick. Now then, its basic attack shoots one large, slow projectile that passes through enemies and inflicts damage on over time and burn on hit. Yeah, it is rather cute. It also has a rather long flight, but here's the thing. It's when it burns enemies. Oh, sorry. When it damages enemies, it also inflicts burn on nearby enemies. It's just a lot of burn. But here's where things get a little bit fun. So over here we have the Cerebrum Enhancer. Remember how this variant of the Gillick can only shoot one projectile at a time? Well, things can be changed. Oh, it shoots so many projectiles in every shot of its primary attack now. Wait, I think I'm going to focus on the Gragoon, maybe? Gragoons are very fun. So are Morfangs. Oh, Oh yeah, this guy did level up. Yeah, more strength. Anyways, one of the mechanics of this game, which I have not unlocked on this save, but have on my main save, is breathing. Voidling breathing allows you to create voidlings whose stats are maxed. Each enemy faction is vulnerable to different, to a combination of two elements. Legion, which is this enemy faction, is weak to... Well, technically all enemy factions are sub-faction of the Legion, but that's a bit complicated. But, so, anyways. The Legion are weak to Pyro and Organic. The bots, which I was fighting, are weak to Frost, Pyro, and Cyber. And everybody is weak to Plasma. Though not as much as they are weak to any other ailment. No. Everyone's weak to Plasma, but not as weak as they are to the two ailments they are weak to. This does technically make Plasma the best ailment, even if not quite as consistent. Technically, it's the most consistent element of being good. Yeah, I was actually aiming for doing it fast because one of the star rewards was from one of the star things was from completing it fast. Don't think there's a reward to it. Okay, one of these two paths leads to minions who smell so bad they deal damage just by being near the enemy. I just don't remember which one it is. So, would you prefer for me to have a self-heal or regain minion charges faster? Actually, I think it might be this one. Oh, yes! Yeah, I'm evolving the Skogoon to, be smelly. Ah, so you want me to focus on the minions? I actually have no clue how much health the minions have. All I know is they're actually surprisingly tanky. When it comes to breeding voidlings, it seems like it operates on a, the offspring will be the closest common ancestor of the voidlings. AKA, if you're to take two voidlings from opposite elemental paths and just as far into, see, whichever direction of the elemental paths they decide to go down, they will produce an offspring who is just the base voidling. But if you're to take two voidlings of the same elemental path, just at a different area of the elemental path from each other, they'll go to the closest common voidling of that elemental path. So if, say, you took a voidling combination where the closest common ancestor would be, like, let's say, Gugu and Stinky. Like, take a Gugoon who used Stinky minions and the Gugoons who used Funky minions. The offspring would actually be the Gugoon I am currently using. In the demo game, bosses were actually vulnerable during their phase changes. I don't know why they decided to change that. Might have something to do with the player base finding ways to one-shot the bosses on accident? fun fact, one of the plasma evolutions for the Gagoon has a signature ability of, when I'm invisible, time does not progress. What is Storm crying about? Okay. Storm seems to be fine, she's just crying. Well, was crying. She's now investigating the front door. Part of me can't help but wonder how, how would, like, each of the voidlings be if you're to, like, just turn him into a person? What I do know for sure is, Queepec as a person would be someone who is regularly underestimated. Anyway, since I have all 3 stars for this mission, I do not really care how many stars I get. Gillick egg. Why is it whenever I replay this mission, I forget that this room only contains an elemental rift, and thus, once you enter it once, you never need to enter it again unless you're on a new save. There's something which I want to try to do right now, which I know I can do in other circumstances, just not know if I can do it in this circumstances, which involves getting up there. Fun fact, the only way you could find out about the Quacky collectible things, outside of just randomly finding one, Which, in that case, what are you doing that you randomly found one? Is by looking at Steam achievements. Or searching up, collectibles, for Voidling Bound. And I feel like every mission should have, like, additional stuff. Have considered that. Actually, I haven't, because I haven't thought about the game for a long time. Should play it more. Silver egg! And it's a Gillick egg. I find it so funny that one of the evolutions of the cocoon is your minions smell bad. I mean, quite possibly, considering the fact that canonically a Gogoon's minions is technically clones of itself, which it somehow makes. Canonically, it's not understood how Gogoons create their minions, it's just known that they do. Also interesting detail, one of the plasma evolutioning routes for Gogoon is just straight up vampire. Like, lifesteal and burns in sunlight. Level of is a vampire. And it's slightly concerning that Gogoons could just evolve into vampires. Don't bother to destroy that unless this is your first time on this map on your save, because that just leads to an elemental rift, which you could tell I've collected. Which voidling's like the first two? I wonder which voidling of the Cyber evolution is the first one you get in this game. I don't remember. Which is hilarious, as I have a save where I have all voidlings. I have nearly all the evolutions for every voidling. I know it's not the Pac-Ran. The Pac-Ran you get at the similar point as the Morphac, which is late early game, I guess. Beginning of mid game. Behold my ultimate. Where is the boss? Oh, it's directly above me. I've never seen it go that high before. You know you're doing something right when you accidentally knock the boss out of view. I should probably at some point begin upgrading this, considering the fact that I could eventually get the invisibility to last long enough that my method of playing the game is just every now and then respawn my minions and ensure I dodge. In Voidling Bound, there are 3 tiers of eggs. Regular eggs, silver eggs, where the Voidlings hatched have a nature, in this case it's healthy, and golden eggs. Remember how I said that Queepecs are fire and organic, but this Queepec is cryo. That's because this Queepec is hatched from a golden egg. So is this Gillick, and so is this Dragoon. Usually golden egg voidlings have an ailment which their voidling can't have skills which you could only get from them, and a perk which is only gotten from them. All golden egg voidlings have a unique perk. However, some are practically the baseline voidling with the perk. Those ones I find a little annoying because it's just a case of wow, I can't evolve you, but you're just the basic of your variant. Just perk. It should be noted that all the elementalist gold egg voidlings all have resource collection perks. one of the golden egg perks is called Golden Goose. It is it's the golden egg voidling in question is a Queepic, and the golden egg Queepic, which has the golden goose perk, is referred to as a gold nugget queen. The perk gives a chance that when you kill an enemy, they drop an voidling egg. What the perk doesn't tell you is that the egg that is dropped is actually based on the voidling, which has the perk. Which I find interesting. If you're wondering how to make use of getting the voidling having perks which it normally doesn't have, it's through splicing, a mechanic which is less late game than breeding for some reason. I don't know why it is, I just know that it is. This building contains the golden egg for the experimental Gugoon, whose unique perk is a resource collection perk. So, you know, it's one of the golden eggs which I don't like as much as the elemental golden eggs because, well, obvious reasons. Still, all golden egg perks are useful. I just have personal distaste for the resource collection golden eggs not coming with any unique abilities. seriously don't understand why the Grenada, voidling, um, why the Grenada voidling needs an no. Why the Grenada voidling does not naturally have the fire element, and the only one which does have the fire element is a golden egg variant. Why? Why, Kirpin? Why do you not natively have a fire element? Why do you have to require? Why do I have to find a golden egg to get you with the pyro element? Ah. You misspelled weird, I think. Oh, I got plasma. Yes. Plasma is such a very rare mutagen until it isn't. You know, there's a reason why it's a very rare element. That's because it's effective against everyone. Anyways. I find it even more hilarious that one of the evolutions for the Stinky Goon is you smell even worse, and the other one is every now and then you release extra rancid. So I have a nocturnal cocoon already. Did I accidentally release it? This ain't it, this ain't it, this ain't it, this ain't it, this ain't... I supposedly already have a nocturnal cocoon. But it's not in my inventory. Looks like that if I did create a nocturnal cocoon on the save, I accidentally released it. Anyways. Oh. Minions' health and fire rate scales with the Gogoon's health and fire rate. Anyways, would you prefer to see me play around with Plasma Gogoon or Smelly Boy? Did I spell smelly right? Okay, plasma it is. Now then. Oh, I have unlocked the... I figured out where my plasma Gogoon was. It's good to have an extra plasma for when I inevitably need to create an evolution down one of the other paths. So anyways, everything is fine. He'd finished exercising. Of course he would sleep. Anyways, rather embarrassing to forget you've already unlocked the training room. But I found them eventually. Why did the entire wave spawn there? And there you are. So anyways, from what I could tell, the devs actually plan to add more voidlings to this game in the future. Hopefully one of them has a perk which creates minions, because why else would there be abilities for voidlings which benefit allies if the only ally in the mission is you, unless you're playing a goon and you can't really use abilities from one voidling on another even with splicing. You can use perks from one voidling on another. Well, let's complete Smelly Boy's evolution. Oh wait, but before that... Fun fact, Queepecs are not as dumb as they look. Why? They like being pet. This means they have at least enough intelligence to understand the concept of affection. Do we make my organic Quigon gassy or miasmic? Gas. We should also put them to action a little. Now then, I am actually going to go down the path of elemental infliction a bit. For one simple reason. Elemental debuffs are powerful, especially plasma. So, should we give the Smelly Boy some action, or do we continue on with plasma? Poison stacks up to 15 times. Okay, Smelly Boy's at it. Anyways, I'm having them both focus down essence because I'm pretty sure that'll make breeding a voidling with maximum in the NA stat much easier if both the voidlings used are maxed out in the same stat. Also, I have 7 smelly boys. By who cut the cheese? I do not understand that joke.